back to All About Cars, and this is my 1990 Peugeot 205 XS that I've owned for about 10 years. Now I'm guessing that most of the people that own these now are like me. You had one back in the late 90s perhaps. It might have been your first or second car. We desperately wanted a GTi, but we could not afford the insurance, and this in some ways was the next best thing. What you got with the XS, exterior wise, you got the front valance there with the fog lights on it. I painted the red stripe on the bumper, I don't think that's original. This one has the optional alloy wheels, I think you got those on a roll-on Garros as well. A bit of stickers. Same little valance on the back. It was always a two-door. We'll move on to the interior. You get a fairly sizable boot on a 205. You can get a ton of junk in there. On the interior, the XS got this red and white sort of stripy interior with the grey on the side. I think that was unique to the XS. And the front seats are sort of a sports affair with the side bolsters. This seat is pretty torn up, which was common on these. The side bolster is all gone. I want to get that refurbished one day. This is a phase 2 car, so it's got the more modern dashboard. The clocks look like this. They look a bit more sporty than the standard ones with the rev counter, but you didn't get an oil pressure gauge or a voltmeter like you would have done on the GTi. You did get a 3-spoke steering wheel, but nothing special in the middle. This car was optioned with electric windows, which is quite nice. The lid for the ashtray is broken, but the plastics on these were quite flimsy. I've thrown in a cheapo MP3 Bluetooth CD player. The heater controls on these, this piece here snaps, but you can 3D print a new piece and it snaps into the round bit, and then you've got heater controls again. Again, very common, the gear knobs would completely disintegrate, and this has got just a little aluminium ball on here, which I quite like. No sunroof on this one, which is actually better, to be honest. Let's have a look at the engine. Now the phase 1 cars had what they called the suitcase engine, which was laid on its back, and it had 2 little twin Webbers on it, which was quite sweet. This being a phase 2, it has the more modern TU engine, which is a better engine all round, to be fair. It's more reliable, it's easier to work on. The parts are dirt cheap, you can get everything for them. And someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what you got was over and above the standard 1.4, a slightly larger carburettor. Maybe the cylinder head was breathed on slightly, but you definitely got a different cam. You also got a close ratio gearbox. The modifications added up to 85 horsepower above 75 horsepower for the standard 1.4. But actually, in a car that weighs, I don't know what these weigh, 750 kilograms? 85 horsepower with a close ratio gearbox is good fun. This thing gets down the road quite well. Although I've had this car 10 years, I never drove it that much because it was always really smoky. I didn't pay much for it. I think I paid about 150 quid for this car. But it run and drove, but it was in a bad way. Tired engine, bad paint, lots of suspension work to do, brakes to redo. All of the normal old car stuff. I'll just jump back in time to February this year when I did a refresh on this engine, brought it back up to spec. After I'd done that, I thought the best way to test it was a 2,000 mile road trip over the Alps, Italy. I'll put in a little bit of footage of that at the end as well. I'm at the stage now, I've got everything apart. You can pull the pistons on these without taking the engine out. On the bench I found that the cylinder head is pretty good. The valves weren't leaky. It had good compression on cylinder 1, 2 and 3 were fairly poor, and 4 was reasonable. But as soon as I got the head off, I could see that there was just oil running down the valves, and the stem seals had just gone hard as anything. The valves themselves are okay, they've all cleaned up and lapped in. It was losing compression on the piston rings, which are well worn. So I've got the pistons cleaned up, they all look pretty good. So it's going to have a new set of pistons, a new set of big ends, obviously a full gasket set. And what else have we got coming? Head bolts, cam belt kit, water pump, set of filters obviously, and that should do it, I think. I'm looking forward to getting this car up and running properly, and then I can use it a bit more. Still see actually a lot of 205s in daily use in rural France. Cars don't actually rust as bad out here as they do generally in the UK. The roads are very, very rarely salted. The climate is a little bit drier. I didn't film too much of our trip to the Alps and Italy. It was mostly just boring motorway miles, but the car ate up the miles just fine. Cruise along at 70, 75 miles an hour all day long. Reasonably economical as well. That refresh I did on the engine, all the parts for that cost about 250 quid, and it was all good branded stuff. And it didn't take that long. It really is a simple job to refresh your TU engine, as long as the crankshaft is okay. Everything else is very simple. Obviously you don't want too much ball wear either. It's one of those cars from your youth maybe that you get back into, and it doesn't disappoint you in the way it drives. It's still a good modern daily driving car if you want it to be. You've got that thing that the French are good at, whereby they can make a car that has nice compliant suspension but it still handles well. You can hear it rattling a bit, but it's a Peugeot, and that's how we know it's working. Let's unleash the 85 horsepower. Very good engine, this TU. The head gaskets do go from time to time. It's a wet liner engine, but it's very easy to do. It's also very easy to change the cam belt. No special tools needed. You do need to adjust the valve clearances from time to time. If you do that, regular oil changes, it will keep going forever. The other thing to look out for on all 205 or 206s is the rear axle bearings can be worn out. But you can buy a refurbished axle. I'm not sure what they are now, about 250 quid. And a few hours to change it, and that problem is sorted. They can go rusty. The areas to pay attention to are the boot floor. That's actually the only place this car has a bit of rust. On the inside, I think, from the boot seal leaking. It's worth just pulling the boot carpet up, making sure there's no nasties lurking under there. That's the 205 XS. Comment down below if you had one of these back in the day. Let me know what fun and adventures you had. Give me a like, give me a subscribe. If you haven't seen the video of my Seat 127 I bought in Spain and drove home, check that one out. And I'll see you in the next video. You have to run to get up there.
No, I'm not going to run.
Go.
There's a guy looking at me.
It's kind of sad you're not allowed up the banking.
Why wouldn't you be anyway?
So it says here the building was started in 1915 and delayed by the war and completed in 1923, and there was a lot of reinforced concrete used, which was highly innovative at the time. And there's actually a spiral ramp at each end of the building. One of the most impressive spectacles industry has ever offered, it says. Here are some of the cars being built here. 60 years they built cars here for. 80 different car models. They were struggling by World War II apparently. In 1982 it closed for good.